Camping in the middle of nature sounds peaceful. Just the wind, the insects, and the flicker of firelight in the darkness. But when night falls, the forest is never as quiet as you think. Today, we bring you 6 of the most disturbing encounters ever caught in the woods. Real chilling moments where the line between adventure and nightmare was only one heartbeat apart. 2 friends were riding their electric scooters down a narrow road by the woods when they suddenly heard a high-pitched scream coming from inside a nearby drainage tunnel. They stopped immediately. The screaming continued, echoing, desperate, as if someone was crying for help from deep within.
Prends tes affaires vite, c'est un piège. Prends tes clés, on y va. Oh! 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 Attention!
Following the sound, they found a narrow entrance and decided to go in. The screams kept going, then suddenly stopped. Some believe it was just a prank using a hidden speaker. But what if it wasn't? What if, in that darkness, the tunnel itself had learned how to call people closer?
Oh! Je suis mouillé! Ah! Oh putain! Oh putain! Vas-y, je me barre. Je suis en sueur là. Vas-y, on se casse. Putain! On fait comment? C'est hanté là? Il y a un truc, il y a un problème là. Ah, il y a un problème. Non, non, il y a un... Monsieur, arrêtez-vous la voiture! Putain, il s'est pas arrêté. Bah, on a besoin de lui.
Grizzly Gaz, a camping YouTuber from the United Kingdom, is well known for his solo trips deep into the wilderness with his loyal French bulldog, Fendi. His videos usually feel calm and peaceful. The sound of wind through the leaves, the crackling of fire, and the quiet freedom of being surrounded by nature. But during what seemed like an ordinary trip, that peace disappeared. That afternoon, Gaz set up camp in a remote forest, built a fire, and cooked dinner. As night fell, the flames danced across his face while Fendi rested quietly beside him. Everything seemed perfect, until a man appeared from the darkness.
I don't normally drink at home. I don't normally drink on camps either, but I just fancied something a bit, something sweet. Visitor creeped up behind me asking me if I had a light. I shit my pants. This is Martin anyway.
His name was Martin. He wore a jacket and jeans, his face weary and tired. Martin asked for some food and water. At first, the conversation seemed friendly, but something about him felt off. His voice trembled, his steps were unsteady, and his eyes looked distant. Still, Gaz shared his meal. By the firelight, Martin said he was homeless, struggling with addiction, and had been wandering in the woods for weeks. When Gaz turned around to gather more firewood, Martin was gone. No footsteps, no goodbye. Only the flicker of firelight and the restless whisper of the forest remained.
Gonna enjoy this fire now. Kick back for a bit. Then wait and see what the night brings. What do you think, mate? I did ask Martin if he's been creeping about in these woods before, but he said he hadn't. Mind you, he's wrong build, isn't he? Than what I caught on my trail camera. I'm going to be on Noya now tonight as well. Thinking, is he going to come back? Because he wasn't a...
That night, Gaz couldn't sleep. Fendi growled softly, staring into the dark bushes. Every little sound made Gaz jump, afraid that Martin might come back, or worse, that he hadn't been alone to begin with.
And the batteries have gone on it, even though I've charged them up. Hopefully trail talking with his mates while he's high. I don't want...
Early the next morning, Gaz packed up camp and mounted a trail camera on a nearby tree before leaving, hoping that if Martin returned, he'd know. But when Gaz came back to check, the camera was gone.
Camp. I've been camping here for about 4 or 5 years. When I found it, the fire pit was just all covered in moss, so no one had been down there for at least 10 years or used the fire pit.
He left the forest in silence, carrying an uneasy feeling, as if someone was still out there, watching him walk away. Restless Wanderer. Backpacking is a veteran YouTuber in the camping community, with over 8 years of hiking, fishing, and wilderness living experiences documented on his channel. His videos usually bring a deep sense of peace, the crackle of campfires, the breeze through the trees, and the rare stillness of untouched nature. But during Memorial Day weekend in 2020, deep in the Colorado mountains, one night completely shattered that calm. The trip began perfectly. His family set up camp, lit a fire, and cooked dinner in a quiet, serene setting. Their campsite was cozy, a large tent, a small outdoor kitchen, and warm firelight glowing against the dark forest. But around 4 a.m., the silence was broken by the roar of an off-road vehicle racing down the dirt road beside their camp. At first, he thought it was just hunters passing by, until the sound returned, louder and closer, and then stopped right outside their tent. From the darkness came the slurred, angry voice of a drunk man, followed by a sharp, high-pitched woman's voice. The two stumbled around the campsite, shouting and cursing, suddenly demanding fishing line. When told there wasn't any, their anger exploded. The man stepped closer, fists raised while the woman screamed at the mother's face.
Voice.
No. They're 2 miles away. I know.
Inside the tent, the two children held their breath, only a thin layer of fabric separating them from the strangers outside.
No, stop. They're playing it.
Let's stay here.
After several tense minutes that felt endless, the pair finally left. No one was hurt, but the fear lingered, heavy, real, and so intense that even the forest seemed to fall silent afterward. The next morning, only tire tracks in the wet soil remained as proof of that chaotic night. For Restless Wanderer, it wasn't an encounter with wild nature, but with people, and he still calls it the most terrifying night of his life in the Colorado mountains. Brendan Explores is a British YouTuber known for his peaceful nights camping in his van and exploring remote wilderness locations. But during a trip to Lake Vyrnwy, Wales, a place where there should have been only wind and still water, he experienced a night he would never forget.
I was having a wedding or something. Looks like some people have already beaten me to it. That's definitely a camper there. Rig Wagra or something waterfall.
The evening began like any other. Brendan parked in a secluded spot, cooked a small meal, and filmed a few clips for his next video. The lake was calm, the moonlight shimmering across its surface. He climbed into his sleeping bag, expecting a quiet night, until headlights flashed directly into his van. A strange vehicle approached and stopped. Heavy footsteps moved around the van, followed by sharp, deliberate knocks on the metal panels. No one spoke. Brendan froze, not turning on his light, not even breathing too loudly. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the intruder left, and silence returned, thick and suffocating. He couldn't sleep. Every sound made his pulse race. At 3:30 a.m., another vehicle pulled up. Its headlights flooded his windows with blinding white light. The engine idled for nearly 15 minutes. No one got out. No voices. No movement. Just the low hum breaking the stillness.
Who the was that? He just drove off. Didn't shout anything. Didn't ask if anyone's in here. Gave a couple knocks, shone the light in, and drove off. Shit. I thought someone would come back then, Jesus. What do I do? What do I do?
Brendan lay completely still, listening, his nerves stretched thin. When the vehicle finally drove away, he remained awake until dawn. By morning, his eyes were sunken, his voice in the next day's video calm but clearly shaken, the exhaustion and fear still lingering.
Well, that's one hell of a wake-up I've ever had one.
No one ever figured out if it was a local prank or something much darker. But Brendan knew one thing for sure. Lake Vyrnwy, once peaceful and serene, had become the setting for the most terrifying night of his nomadic life. Camper Vibe is a YouTube channel run by Emily and Louise, two friends known for their van life adventures and their journey renovating a 200-year-old stone cottage. But in early 2023, Louise decided to do something different. A solo camping trip to Daring Woods, on the edge of the village of Pluckley, known as the most haunted village in England.
East of England, this woodland sits just outside of a little village called Pluckley. Now, completely unknown to me when I arrived, Pluckley is Britain's most haunted village. In fact, with over 14 known ghosts, it has a spot in the Guinness Book.
At first, everything felt peaceful. She set up her hammock, built a campfire, and cooked a simple meal surrounded by birdsong and the soft wind rustling through the trees. But as night fell, the atmosphere changed. The natural sounds faded away, replaced by faint, distant screams, like the cries of children echoing through the forest.
Oh, it stopped enough for a fire, isn't it? Bird, or is it kids screaming? Sounds like kids screaming. That's just a train. That's a bird. That's a gunshot. Don't know if you'll be able to hear a lot of this, it's pretty distant, but it sounds like... This is definitely odd.
Louise tried to convince herself it was just owls or night birds, but the sounds didn't stop. They grew louder, closer, stranger. She could only sit still by the fire, listening intently to every sound, her nerves tightening with each passing minute.
Sure, I'm pretty convinced there's been a person or persons. But the fuck? I've never wanted the morning to come. What the fuck was that? I don't want to turn the light on because I'm pretty... What the fuck is going on?
Eventually, she decided to go to sleep, even though her instincts screamed that something wasn't right. Around 2 a.m., between the sound of rain and a distant train, she heard footsteps. At first soft, then slow and deliberate, moving straight toward where she lay. They stopped, then began circling the hammock. These weren't animal noises. They were the careful, cautious steps of a person. Louise held her breath. She didn't dare turn on her light. Any sign of movement might let whoever, or whatever, was out there know she was awake. The footsteps continued, pausing, returning, as if watching her from the shadows. Time stretched endlessly. When she finally gathered the courage to look, there was nothing. Only the pitch-black forest and the sound of crows waking in the distance. She didn't sleep again that night. By dawn, Louise was exhausted. In the morning footage she filmed, one chilling detail stood out. The hatchet she always kept nearby for protection had been left on the ground, only a few steps away from where she'd been lying.
Last night, because I knew it was going to rain, so I'd keep my wood dry and wouldn't pool up the water. But I've just realised I left my axe out. Now, if there had been an axe murderer wandering around, I've literally handed him his weapon of choice. Idiot, Louise.
Louise left Daring Woods safely, but the mystery of those footsteps was never solved. To this day, she still doesn't know if it was a person, a prank, or something else entirely. All she knows is that night, deep in Pluckley Forest, she was not alone. Phil, the creator behind Hike Slam, is a YouTuber who's been documenting his hikes along the Appalachian Trail since 2017. His channel is usually calm and peaceful, filled with the sound of wind through the trees, campfires by the tent, and small survival tips for life in the wilderness.
In Virginia and do an overnight. It's the day before Thanksgiving. It's supposed to be cold tonight, but I'm looking forward to it. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Last time I was on this section of trail, it was September, so leaves were on the trees. It was warm. Right now it's really nice. It's probably low 50s, but it'll be colder tonight, so I'll have a fire.
But one June night in Virginia changed everything, turning a familiar trail into an unforgettable, chilling experience. At first, everything was normal. Phil filmed his journey, talking about his gear and the beautiful forest scenery. But only a few miles in, he began noticing strange things. Plastic boxes placed along the trail, each containing a handwritten note, poems, song lyrics, and sometimes rambling messages about the government and personal sins.
Walking up, I saw some trash in the trail, and I came across this. So some Bud Light cans, plastic bat, some writing on some of this garbage. This one. Hangman is coming down from the gallows. Song lyrics. Other weird things. Well, hopefully.
The deeper he went, the more disturbing the notes became. Then he came across a freshly killed duck, laid right in the middle of the trail. It wasn't an accident. Someone was clearly leaving signs on purpose.
The weirdness continues. What the hell? And there's a dead duck here. A very long note.
As night fell, under the dim yellow light, Phil opened the shelter's notebook, a place where travelers usually leave kind words or short reflections. But instead of friendly messages, the pages were filled with eerie monologues, writing about prison time, solitary confinement, and prayers mixed with paranoia.
And what people's experiences were on the trail. And it was fun at first. But man, once I came across that guy's writing, it was so weird. It was like, I felt like I don't know, the plot continues or something. You open it up and it's like, that writing looks familiar. Oh my gosh, it's the same writing as that guy that's 3 miles away that I hiked this far away to get away from the dude. And now, yeah, man, I guess he was just here a few days ago. Ranting, it's like music lyrics and political stuff and, you know, talking about people leaving trash and just...
When the forest grew silent again, footsteps echoed outside the shelter. Phil peeked through the crack of the door. A man wearing a headlamp was slowly circling the cabin, his beam of light gliding across the wooden walls. Not wanting a confrontation, Phil quietly packed his things and slipped away into the night, the sound of his heartbeat blending with the whisper of the wind. He didn't stop until he saw his truck, safe under the pale light of the moon.
The hike in here, there was nobody. There's no cars along the side of that Forest Service road except mine. It was super quiet here. I haven't heard any sign of a person at all. I hear animals up in the woods, but yeah, I don't know. I still have my shoes on. I guess in case I have to run. Man, I think this is a combination of the weird dude down the trail and his cryptic writings that I keep finding everywhere, and also in the woods, your mind plays games with you. Every sound, every light is something to be concerned about. I lied down for a couple hours, nodded off to sleep. Just on top of my sleeping bag. But man, every crack and crunch I hear outside of an animal walking by or a branch breaking, I don't know, it's just like, it's freaking me out. So I'm gonna try to get some more sleep here.
3 years later, October 2024, Phil returned to that same place, camera in hand. He wanted to know, were those notes just the work of a disturbed mind, or had he truly escaped something far darker that night? The answer remains unknown. But along the Appalachian Trail, where whispered stories become legend, traces of that night still linger, a reminder that in the deep woods, not everything strange is a product